Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Daria Ivan and this is Daria's Diaries. Today we have a special guest, Bradley Parrott, joining us. Bradley Parrott, sorry.
Hi, so I'm Bradley and I'm here. Hello.
So today I thought it'd be useful to make kind of a your guide to university sort of video. So we're just gonna be answering some questions that we've had a lot from other people and just overall that we thought would be useful to have before we even came to uni ourselves. So yeah, this is gonna be basically your guide to university. If you don't know, I'm Daria. I'm a first year law student at the University of the West of England.
I'm a second year banking and finance student.
When I was at A-levels, I really wish I could watch a video like this and just kind of have a guide for university, so that is exactly what I'm going to be doing today. Right, so firstly we're going to talk about course structures overall and what things you can do outside of your course at university. In terms of course structure, you kind of have to look at the website and what your university sort of says, and it might also depend on the university that you go to, but as for me as a law student, I've got 5 core modules in my first year that you kind of have to do, and then second year I get to pick a couple of my modules and still have kind of core ones, and then third year that's when you kind of pick most of your modules.
So in first year I didn't get to pick any, they were all chosen for me. In second year I still get I have some flexibility, but the majority is still fixed. So I believe I got to choose 2 out of a total of I think 6 that I do. So it's not too bad, and I just get to pick 1 each semester, and then I've got like 2 or 3 of them that are fixed. With
my course, the kind of, if you are looking to do law, the modules that I currently do are criminal, contract, tort, and public, and then I also have a module called Student Lawyer Project. What are the modules that you are doing, Bradley, and did last year? How did you feel about them?
So first year I did corporate finance, principles of banking, and those are another one I completely forgotten. In second year, so the fixed ones were again principles of banking, so like a course long module. I had to do ethics in banking. I had to do MAPI, which is like portfolio management. It's quite a good module. And the other one is investment banking, and it's my favourite module, I'd say.
In terms of extracurriculars, there's many things you can get involved with. Our uni has about 35 to 36 societies that you can get involved with. I'm part of the Law Society, and I'm really enjoying it. We do things like mooting, which I've spoken about before on my channel, which is more of like court competitions. It really helps with advocacy skills and even more. But most societies do night out as well, where you can get to meet a lot of people. And I know uni can be quite scary about meeting people, but don't worry, you'll find someone at some point. And even if you don't, completely fine. Most societies are really great to get into. Some of them you have to pay. Most of them it's like between like £1 to £10. Some can get a bit more depending on what you want to do. Like for example, American football.
Societies are good at just supporting people no matter whatever you want to do, basically.
Yeah, and you just meet a lot of people that have common interests like you basically. So it doesn't hurt to give it a go. I'm also part of the Drama Society. I haven't gone at all. So if you join something and you don't go, again, completely fine. But yeah, definitely get involved with societies, and then also you can actually make your own society. So I'll hand it over to Bradley because he actually founded his own society.
So first year I joined the Economic Society, and I thought it was good. It was, don't get me wrong, it's alright, but I just found they were very social based in terms of it's a lot of just going out and like board game nights, which is fun. Don't get me wrong, but obviously at uni you want to actually basically leverage everything you possibly can out of it. So I actually made the Investment Society at UE, and I'm currently the president of the society. And basically, for example, what we do, we are more of an academic society. We do social nights and all that kind of stuff, but we try to find a good blend of all of it. Good thing on the CV as well.
I was going to say that.
And you meet a lot of people as well. It's a good time to just meet people. You get involved with a lot of academics. You get a lot closer with your lecturers as well. So if you do end up coming to UE and you're interested in finance and investments, feel free to, join.
I'm actually the media manager of this society, so if you want to follow our Instagram, it will be just instead of Bradley's head here. Join it, it's really good. Also, just adding on to that, if you're the type of person that doesn't like drinking much, I'm not like an avid drinker. Like, I'll have 1 or 2 drinks when I go out. Overall, Bradley just doesn't really like to drink, right? So if you're not like a drinker or anything like that, don't stress. I know it can feel intimidating when, I'll be honest, a lot of people at university, they like to go out and they like to, you know, get drunk and do all that stuff. But if you're not like that, completely fine. You will find the society for you and you'll find your people. Just, it might take some time, but don't worry, you'll get there. That's sort of a little bit of an idea of what you can get involved in. I'm sure there's loads more things that you can get involved with when it comes to your course. It just might depend on the course. But yeah, just kind of keep a lookout. And it sounds really weird, but try join as many group chats as possible. That's what I did, and that's how I found out about a lot of the kind of things going around. Next, I'm gonna go on to kind of accommodation overall. We don't have too much experience when it comes to this because although we did live in student accommodation, it was off campus. But in terms of accommodation, there's quite a lot of things that you can do, to be fair. There's quite a mix at university. So you can either go through student accommodation, which for UE, there are 3 campuses, and all of these campuses have student accommodations. In terms of pricing, I'll go through the like financials and stuff anyway down the line, but it all kind of depends on the type of room that you want, the type of like which campus you want to be on. You can get your own studio or you can go into a shared flat, up to you completely. I know a lot of people love going to shared flats just because it's good to meet people that way. I didn't go into a shared flat because I'm a bit of a germaphobe. Second option for accommodation, if you are local to whatever university you're going to, you can literally stay home and live with your parents. It's such a good idea when it comes to money, especially you're saving so much more. So that's fine. I know a lot of people kind of are worried whether they're going to meet a lot of people that way. Again, first year is very weird and very subjective as to how many people you're going to meet. We're going to tell you our experiences anyway, but don't worry too much about that. So you could do that as well. And I know some people commute as well. So one of my like best friends that I went to sixth form with and secondary, he commutes from Swindon, which is, he just takes the train every day, but it's just more cost effective that way. So it's up to you how you want to do it. There's many options that you can look at. Again, just kind of look on your university's sort of website when it comes to student accommodation and just kind of weigh all of the options that you have.
For first year students, if you want to stay on campus, which is what I'd say 90% of their own accommodations are, you're guaranteed a space in your first year. Typically how the structure works is the majority of students in first year, you stay on campus. We didn't do that, but you stay first year on campus in a shared flat, or if your parents have money, you go into a studio or whatever, but you are with a group of people on campus. Second year, you're no longer guaranteed that spot, but you can, there's still a chance to do it as long as there's not too many first years, because the uni will give the first years priority. Typically second year, you meet the people in first year, you know, get to know each other, you form a little group, and then what the majority do in second year, they get like a house together, house share around uni, like within a 5-mile radius where you can bus it, walk it, wherever you want, and then they just get the house together and rent out, and they do it that way. But that's the typical structure of most unis, I'd say. Yeah,
you've got buses all around.
And you just get an app, and you can do student passes. I paid, I think it's like, typically it's £2 for a single ticket, but it's £1.80 if you're a student. It adds up, I guess. It's alright. Personally,
I have a car, so I came to uni with my car. It was quite expensive to bring my car over, I will admit. However, I'm a bit of a addict to driving, so I couldn't kind of live without my car, as selfish and posh as it sounds. But yeah, you can also drive if you want to. The only kind of problem with driving, especially in big cities like Bristol, is parking. We lived in the city centre in the first year, and that was horrible with parking. I paid like £200 a month just for the parking. Parking is very expensive, so if you do end up like bringing your car, try to find somewhere that has a garage or parking on the street. But yeah, driving is very convenient if you can bring a car. I would definitely recommend it. In terms of parking, campus-wise, there are car parks, but if you live on campus, you don't qualify for like a permit. A lot of times, sometimes you can beg the uni and they'll give it to you. But if you're not in a certain radius, then you can't, because they just need the spaces.
But you do have to pay for them though. So I don't know if it applies to all unis, but for example, and I know UAB are like this. Car parks around the unis and on campuses. For example, you have to pay it's not bad. It's £120 for the whole year.
Yeah.
Or you can pay like what I do. I pay £3 a day. But that's today when you want to park. You pay £3 for the whole day. And I think it's alright. I would say it's honestly worth just paying the £120. But honestly, the amount of times you'll find yourself needing to go to uni at like 2 a.m, you're on a coursework, and you realise, oh no, I forgot a piece of data, or I need to go there to get a book out or whatever. It really is beneficial, because I've had a parking ticket from uni before, and it's not. Just buy the ticket. I'm
a first year, but if you don't know, I did psychology last year and I actually transferred. So if you feel quite intimidated coming to uni and like not really sure of what you want to do, and you're like, oh, but am I going to like this course? Don't stress too much, because coming from me, it was super easy to change my course. Genuinely, the uni was so helpful with it, and I'm sure most unis out there are like this.
It was literally just an online form, wasn't it? You filled
yeah.
out? Yeah. You just got to say why you wanted to change, and you pretty much got instant confirmation, didn't you? Basically,
as long as you get the grades for the course that you wanted to, it's super easy. So don't worry too much if you don't know what you want to do. You can change. So coming from me, I thought I loved psychology and it just wasn't for me, so I changed, and now I'm a first year again.
Miss Marshman, if you're watching,
apologies. Next, we're going to talk about timetables. I know when I was in sixth form, I really had questions about what do the timetables look like, how free am I going to be. It all depends on the course, but from our experiences, when I did psychology, it was pretty similar to law actually. I personally do go in basically every day as a first year, so Mondays I'm 11 till 5, but you do get breaks in between. So like I have, let's say, a 2-hour workshop and a lecture after that of 1 hour, and then I get like an hour break and then another hour. But for example, some people in my course have literally free, like Wednesdays they have nothing on, so you've got a free day there. But yeah, it all depends on your course, but realistically you are going to have at least 1 day off, and then short days and then long days. But it's going to be pretty similar to sixth form if you do go to sixth form, where you have breaks but you can leave obviously. What would you say has your timetable been like going from first year to second year, or like what's it on?
First year you have a lot more frees. So for example, first year I think I was only in like 3 days a week, but those 3 days were packed. By the way, your timetable changes every semester. There's 2 semesters in the year and they separate over Christmas, and your timetable changes each semester. So for one academic year, you'll have semester 1 timetable, and then you'll have semester 2 timetable. And then second year is a lot more varied in terms of where they are. For example, today, Tuesdays, I was in 9 till 10, and then I have a lecture on half an hour at 4 p.m, and that is until 7 p.m. So it is quite varied, and I know someone who has lectures at 8 p.m. It's ridiculous, but I find second year you also have a lot more lectures going on and a lot more lectorials. So the only day I have free now is a Wednesday, and all my other days are basically packed apart from today.
In case you don't know, at university, first year doesn't actually count towards your university grade. That doesn't mean don't go to your lectures and completely
do try, because
ignore.
First year sets you up for second year so well. If me, who first year religiously went to every single lecture, lectorial, everything, I am finding second year, I wouldn't say a breeze, but it's coming a lot more naturally. I'm constantly getting first in everything I do, where a lot of people who I know first year just went out partying and all that kind of stuff, skipped lectures. They're finding second year so hard because they didn't have that foundation from first year.
Yeah, and I think also it depends on the course that you do, but for like law and finance, from what I've heard, it's very important also what your grade is for first year, especially if you're applying for like internships or first year schemes or vacation schemes, stuff like that. So although it doesn't count towards your final grade, I definitely say do try. It's fine if you don't go in a lot of times. I'll be honest, I didn't go in a lot of times of my first year of psychology, but I definitely say try to engage as much as possible. If you're wondering kind of what the structure of timetables are like, you have different sort of things on there. So you have workshops, which are sort of little like study groups, I guess. So it's kind of like 20 of you in one room with one professor, and that's when you really go in depth onto the topic that you're learning that week. And then you've got lectures, which are, it's sort of like a presentation. So you watch the professor give the presentation in the PowerPoint, and you just take notes. So you kind of listen, and that's essentially everyone all in one room. And then lectorials are essentially the big ones. So that's when you've got even other people from other courses that kind of intertwine with yours. And lectures and lectorials for most courses are recorded. So if, let's say, you're commuting, a lot of times people just watch it back online and just do it that way. Workshops aren't, so definitely attend your workshops. They are so helpful. But it might vary on the course. So for example, your course, I know you said that they don't record them just because of attendance. Nice. And also a lot of times, like if you work alongside uni or anything like that, if you can't attend this specific workshop, you can change them. You just need to speak to your module leader. Well, for UE this is the case, I'm sure for other unis the same, but all you need to do is just speak to your module leader, and you should just be able to just switch to a different workshop, just whatever works best for your schedule, to accommodate you best, especially if you're commuting. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it really. Uni is a lot of self-studying, I'll be honest. So you do kind of have to be driven enough. You have to motivate yourself, which is hard. I'll say that right now. It is difficult, but you kind of get into a groove of it. If you stay on top of things from the very beginning, then you'll get into it quite easily. Right, so Bradley had to go to a lecture. But yeah, I've actually been at work today in the morning. So I was going to go on to finances next. So he's going, but I'm going to talk about finances. So university, I'll be honest, it's expensive. So you do kind of have to take finances into account. So just kind of starting with your main thing that you need to think about is student loans. When you apply for uni, you'll see that most courses will have like a fee. So it will depend on the year that you apply and things like that. But when you apply for student finance, you'll apply for two types of loans. So the first one will be tuition fees, and that will be solely directed to the uni. So you won't get any of that in your bank account. That will go straight to your uni to be paid off. The second type of loan is called a maintenance loan, and this is specifically to help you with your living costs. In terms of how much you're entitled to, it will kind of depend on your parents' income. Personally, I don't like that because a lot of people, although their parents might earn a lot or not much, some people are estranged from their parents and even more. But unfortunately, it is dependent on your parents' income, but it's definitely useful, especially for rent and stuff. But yeah, it will just kind of depend on your parents' income, and this will go directly in your bank account. However, you don't get it as a lump sum at once, so you get it once, you get it 3 times a year. It's just kind of up to you how to budget it. Just be really careful, try not to spend it all. I know it can be exciting having so much money in your bank account, but just remember that that money is for you to live on. So it's for food, for rent, for bills, all that stuff basically. So it is really important not to spend it on like nights out. I know a lot of people tend to do that, and it's fine if you want to, but just remember that that money is meant to last you for at least 4 months every time you get it. So although you do get loans, a lot of times you might need to get a job. I currently work 20 hours a week, and I'll be honest with you guys, like, it is difficult to work alongside uni. It's not an easy thing. Time management, you really have to be good at that to be able to do it, because for me, I work weekends all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then I work Tuesdays as well, the whole morning till afternoon basically. So yeah, work is difficult, especially when you have to do it alongside university, especially when you do have quite a packed schedule overall. But it can be done. I'm doing it. It's difficult, but it can be done. When it comes to student accommodation and how you pay that, you pay it similar to student loans. Every time a student loan payment comes in, that's when you pay what you own, basically. If you're really struggling with finances and you're really worried, how am I going to afford everything? Look at bursaries. You can enter competitions to earn scholarships and things like that. Have a look on your university's website as well. A lot of universities offer scholarships depending on the course that you do and your parents' income and even more. So have a look. You might be eligible and you never know, you might get a bursary. I'm going to quickly do like things to bring to uni. In terms of technology, if you can afford it and you do have access to it, definitely get a laptop or an iPad. It's the biggest thing you'll probably use in university. If you can't afford it, completely fine. I know a lot of universities like mine, they do schemes where you can borrow laptops and things like that. It might make it a bit harder, but a lot of people do go without laptops. But if you can, definitely recommend it. It's the biggest help ever. And then in terms of actual like stationery, honestly, you don't do much note taking when you're in uni when it comes to like written note taking. I know some people in uni do like to write their notes, although I'll be honest, it's very time consuming. And when you're in lectures, personally, my lectures go very, very quick when they speak, so I just don't really have time to handwrite it. But I have one single notebook that I just write my stuff on that I need to. I've also personally bought a planner, which to be fair, I found useful, but I have this like stationery thing. I'll put a picture of it actually. But it's sort of like a little like notepad that you take the pages off of. And it has like, it's a to-do list essentially that I absolutely love those. I find them so useful. But I just write every day things I need to do and just take them off. It just makes it much easier. I definitely recommend getting folders. I have a couple of folders, which I'll put some pictures of again. I can link them if you want in the bio. I don't know, just let me know if you want me to link the stuff that I'm mentioning. But those are really useful, especially if you're doing things like essays, which you're going to be doing at some point. Essays, like if you're doing presentations, which you will also be doing, then you can have your notes on there. But yeah, folders, one notebook, your laptop, and to be honest, and a couple of pens, and you're all good to go basically. In terms of things to bring to uni as like for your accommodation, if you're moving into a flat, the main things you'll need: kitchen, you'll need obviously pans and pots. You don't need too many, to be honest, maybe just one or two of each. Bring a couple of plates, but don't get too many. If you can, bring cups. This might sound really weird, but bring plastic cups, because the amount of people that I've heard that just glass cups just get broken like that in student accommodations, just bring plastic ones if you can get them. I had a checklist when I first moved to uni and I found this super helpful. So I'll find a checklist for you and I'll pop it on the screen and you can take a screenshot of that. Hopefully that'll be helpful. I think that's essentially everything you need for university. Right guys, I hope you found this useful. There is so much more I could talk about, so if you want another video and you do have even more questions, please put them down in the comments and I will be more than happy to make another video. I can even bring some of my other friends on and they can tell you their experiences. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it and I really hope that it has helped you. I just once again want to say, if you're nervous about going to uni, it's completely normal. If you're nervous about making friends, don't worry too much, because I'll be honest, last year I felt really alone. It is completely normal to feel alone, especially in your first year of university. It's very difficult to make friends. We're all in the same boat though, just remember that. We're all trying to make friends and meet people at university. Just enjoy it, to be honest. I've been at uni technically for 2 years because obviously I did a year in psychology and it flies by. Let me tell you, it absolutely flies by. So just enjoy it. Whilst you're a student, enjoy it. Try to take on all of the opportunities possible. Don't skip on any opportunity that the uni gives you because you are paying for it in the end. So make use of it and just make use of your money. Get the best value of your money out. Thank you once again and I will see you guys next week. Bye!
Is that done?
You.
My time.